What's up and welcome to 17 Non. Today we're going to be making some braised roast duck. A good roast duck usually takes around 4 to 5 days to make. But in this recipe we're going to cut the time down by using various cooking techniques. By using various cooking methods such as dry aging, frying, braising and roasting, we can still end up with a pretty damn good roast duck. This roast duck will take around 2 days to make, but I promise you the end result is definitely worth it. And with all that said, let's get straight into making some roast duck. What's up and welcome. In this recipe we're going to cook this duck using 4 different cooking methods. First we need to make up a marinade. For a classic Cantonese style dry rub, in a small bowl add 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic salt, 1 tablespoon of 5 spice and 1 tablespoon of light brown sugar. When this is mixed, go ahead and add this dry rub to the cavity. Evenly distribute the dry rub, then we can also go ahead and add 2 star anise, 2 pieces of dried orange peel, 3 garlic cloves, 5 grams of sliced ginger, 2 whole green onions, and finally 1 tablespoon of Chu Hou paste. If you can't get hold of this, then hoisin will do just fine. Now that the duck is stuffed with all that goodness, we can seal up the cavity. I'm just using a small bamboo skewer to weave in between the skin around the cavity. Make sure the cavity is tightly sealed and also wipe off any excess marinade on the skin. When weaved, it's time to tighten this thing up. In a wok or pan, fill halfway with water, then add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Then bring the water up to a boil. Gather the duck from the neck side and it's time to give this thing a bath. Hold the duck just above the water, then baste with a ladle. This step is going to help tighten up the skin. As we baste, try to ensure to get in between the legs and the wings. This whole process should take around 10 to 15 minutes, and what you're looking for is that the skin starts to tighten. When the duck starts to look a little something like this, remove from the pan and place to one side to rest. Moving on, it's time to make up a quick glaze / marinade. In a small bowl, add 2 tablespoons of dark soy, 2 tablespoons of rice wine, 2 tablespoons of light soy, and 1 tablespoon of maltose, or you could use honey also. Place the bowl into a pan a quarter full with water. Turn the heat up to medium-high and simmer for around 5 to 10 minutes. All we're looking to do here is to dissolve the maltose, so when that's ready, remove from the heat. Next, take a brush and baste the duck with the marinade. Again, like when we boiled the duck, make sure to get in between all the joints and cracks. When basted, place onto a wire rack over a baking tray. And it's now time to dry this bird out. Place the duck into the refrigerator and leave uncovered. Leave this to dry out overnight and we'll see you tomorrow. The following day, the duck should now be dry and ready to cook. You can dry age ducks for 3 to 5 days, but as we're going to braise this thing, this will do just fine. To make cooking this thing a bit easier, we're going to need to make a handle. Run 2 bamboo skewers for the neck side of the duck, and this should make cooking this thing a lot easier. Add some cooking oil to the wok and turn the heat up to high. Bring the temperature of the oil up to 170 degrees centigrade, and when hot enough, add the duck and we can now start to fry. Continue to rotate and baste the duck, and this whole process should take around 15 minutes. And what we're looking for is the duck to become nice and golden brown. I must stress, try and be careful when doing this, as this probably isn't the most safest of techniques. And when the duck is nice and golden brown, remove from the hot oil. Place onto a wire rack to drain, and now we can move on to making up the braise. Before we start to braise, we're going to need to toast some aromatics. In a dry pan, add some slices of orange peel, 2 cinnamon sticks, 2 star anise, some sliced ginger, 3 garlic cloves, 1 teaspoon of juniper berries, and 1 tablespoon of Sichuan peppercorns. Fry the aromatics until nice and fragrant, and when ready, remove from the heat and place these to one side. Now for the rest of the braise. Add a piece of rock sugar to a dry pan and place onto a medium heat. Break up the rock sugar and cook until caramelized. Next, carefully add 1 liter of water and bring the liquid up to a boil. When boiling, we can go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of rice wine, 3 tablespoons of dark soy, 2 tablespoons of Chu Hou paste, 2 tablespoons of fermented bean curd, this one's optional, and finally 2 tablespoons of honey. Mix this well, then we can go ahead and add the aromatics. Bring the braise up to a boil first, and when boiling, turn the heat down to a low simmer. Now we can go back in with the duck, and we want to braise this thing for around 45 minutes. Every 10 minutes or so I like to rotate and baste the duck. And the reason for doing this is to create an even braise and to evenly colour the duck. After 45 minutes of braising, the duck should be ready to move on to the next stage. Carefully remove the duck from the braise and place onto a wire rack to dry out. We can now go ahead and remove those bamboo sticks, then turn the braise up to a high heat. Reduce the braise by half, then pass through a fine strainer, and this will act as the perfect sauce for our duck. Now on to the final step, the roasting. Preheat an oven to 170 degrees centigrade, then add the duck. Roast for 45 minutes whilst rotating occasionally. After 45 minutes, the duck should now be ready. Remove from the oven and place one side to rest. To finish the duck, I like to glaze with a mixture of honey and water. When glazed, rest the duck for 30 minutes, and all that's left to do now is to serve. There's something quite special when you serve a whole bird like this. It definitely has a sense of occasion, and cooking for a group of people is way more enjoyable. I like to finish this duck with some leafy vegetables, then pour over the braise. I decided to carve this thing up Western style, as it's just simply easy to film. But you can cut this up on the bone Chinese style also. Naturally I eat this with rice, but I'll leave this one up to you. And that's it for this recipe. Have fun and thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. If you want to see more content like this in the future and help support the channel, you can simply click on the subscribe button. With all that said, see you guys on the next one. Take care, and as always, peace.